Alright, what's up? Arthur here, and welcome to a new Black Ops 3 video. In fact, welcome to a new Black Ops 3 Best Class setup video. And of course, as you can tell by the title, in this one, we're gonna take a look at the 48 Dredge. And a little heads up, this setup is a little bit unorthodox. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But apart from that, of course, as always, so first we're gonna take a look at the attachments, and then the perks, and then finally the square screen setup. So that being said, let's get to it. Now, of course, for starters, we have the ELO sights. Now, since this is a burst weapon, a burst LMG, this one shines at medium to long range. And at those ranges, having an optic on your weapon is definitely pretty beneficial, because they simply make it a lot easier for you to stay on targets. Now, of course, the ELO sight is my favorite sight in Black Ops 3, but if you prefer the red dot sight, or the recon sight, or whatever sight it might be, then simply go with that one. It's gonna help you out a ton. Anyway, so next up we have the quick draw grip. Now, of course, if you simply sit back with this weapon, take it easy, the quick draw grip isn't necessary. However, if you wish to even so much stand a slight chance at close range, the quick draw grip is a must, because unfortunately, hip firing is not really a viable option with this one. Just because it is a burst weapon, it just doesn't work out most of the time. I want to say that it doesn't work out about 9 out of 10 times, so really, the quick draw grip is going to help you quite a bit, especially if you, just like me, still want to run around just a little bit. Anyway, so next up we have rapid fire, a very underrated attachment, if I say so myself. Rapid fire in this case is simply going to decrease the amount of time in between bursts, making this gun even more deadly than it already is at all ranges, long range, medium range, of course also close range. Next up we have the stock. Now personally, for those of you that don't know this, my accuracy in Black Ops 3 isn't too great. In fact, my accuracy has gone down over the years. But personally, I find it a lot easier for me to stay on target at medium to long range by simply strafing from the left to the right than it is for me to stay on target by actually aiming precisely. So that's the main reason why I use the stock. However, since this is an LMG, I would also recommend you to zoom in before you run into a building, because in that case, if there's someone sitting there simply waiting for you, you actually stand a fighting chance. And then finally, in terms of the attachments, we also have FMJ. Now, I'm pretty sure that you've never seen me use this one before. I actually started using this attachment, I want to say 2 weeks or so ago. Something along those lines. It's actually really deadly. Now, of course, for those that don't know, FMJ simply decreases the damage drop-off when you're shooting through a surface. This can be a wall, this can be a piece of wood, a piece of metal, whatever it might be. It's simply going to make sure you deal more damage when you're shooting through a surface than you normally would without FMJ. And that's really all it does. However, this actually makes it possible for you to get a one burst kill through a wall. And since this weapon is deadly accurate, that's actually not too difficult. So simply give that one a go. And of course, if you, just like me, are a natural sharpshooter who's capable of hitting every piece of rubble in between you and your opponent, then once again, FMJ is a bit of a lifesaver. Anyway, so next up for our first perk, we have Hardwired. Now, Hardwired is my go-to perk in Black Ops 3. It's super useful. It, for starters, makes you immune to counter UAVs, power cores, EMP grenades, and also smoke screens. It makes sure you don't trigger trip mines, shock charges, and C4 alarms. And then on top of that, it reduces the effects of Tracker, and it completely annihilates the effects of Sixth Sense, so this one is definitely pretty good. And then finally, for perk 3, we have Awareness, which is simply going to increase the amount of sounds that your enemies, their footsteps make. And I've asked this in previous videos as well. Apparently, if you don't have a proper headset like me, this perk is still pretty viable. However, if you don't think that it's going to help you out a whole lot, then simply switch this one for dead silence. In that case, it becomes pretty much impossible for your opponents to hear you. But of course, in this case, with Awareness, just because if you want to do well with this weapon, obviously you're going to have to sit back, relax a little bit. You can't rush around with this one like a maniac and expect to do well. And of course, if you're able to hear your opponents from miles away, you can make sure you're ready for any gunfight, which is definitely going to help you out quite a bit in the long run. And then finally, from a square streaks, we have the UAV, the Guardian, and then finally the Hardened Sentry. Honestly, the Guardian and the Hardened Sentry combined are a pretty deadly combo. Anyway, with that being said, of course, if you've got a pretty solid 48 Dredge setup, then definitely be sure to share that one in the comments for others to try out. Also, if you enjoyed this video, some support, a like rating would be very much appreciated. If not, that's cool. Of course, if you want to, you can also follow me on Twitter, or Facebook, or Instagram. You can find all those links in the description. And apart from that, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the continued support. And I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy.